This is turning into an obsession. Hey guys, what's up? It's Saturday, so welcome to yet another edition of The Breakfast Club, hosted by myself, Sword Sage. That's the name I go by on YouTube. Anyway, I wanted to touch on something that I believe I've touched on in The Breakfast Club before. I know I brought it up in other videos on my own channel. I think I brought it up here, I'm pretty sure. And that's on collectivism versus individualism. Now, before I go on, I should just point out, in case I haven't already, that I believe that both are essential for, a good working society and the people within it. People should be able to express themselves individually and be able to live their lives, in an individualistic way. However, it shouldn't be at the expense of the benefits of collectivism because, the collectivism aspect is how human beings survive. We're pack animals. It's what we do. It's one of our greatest strengths besides adaptation. And the reason why we're able to be at the level that we're at now, the reason why we've been able to advance throughout our history is because of us coming together rather than just simply, depending on just our own selves. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up today is because of a video that I recently watched, which I think really brought this home, despite the fact that the video wasn't really focusing on that. And what I mean by that is that it wasn't supposed to be the main topic of that video, but it brings it up. And the video in question is done by a guy, his channel is called The Imaginary Axis. And he brings up a particular point on an anime and manga, which many of you guys probably know about, called Death Note. I'm not going to be talking about the plot of Death Note. I'm pretty sure most of you guys already know about Death Note. If you don't, look it up. Trust me, it's going to be very easy for you to look up on the internet. But his video is basically called Why the Death Note Would Fail in Real Life. Like, if there really was a Death Note, why the whole plot would fall apart within just a couple of days. And he brings up some really good points as to why that is. Basically, what he brings it down to the fact that in today's modern era, the way our society works, Light Yagami, the main antagonist, I guess, depending on your point of view, he wouldn't last that long in our world if the Death Note was real and he tried to pull up that stuff here. And one of the biggest reasons is the internet. What he brings up, and I don't want to spell out the whole video for you. I'll put up a link so that you guys can watch it yourselves in case this interests you. But to get to the main thrust, one of the points he brings up, it's a major point, is that within just a few days, we would have already figured out who he was and how he's able to make Death Note work. How he's able to kill off all the people he wants to kill off in the world with Death Note. We would have already figured it out. Like in the manga and in the story itself, his nemesis, L, is able to deduce pretty much who he is, I think, in a week or so, and is able to pretty much figure him all out within a few weeks afterwards. But basically, this dude argues that the internet would have already figured him out even faster than that, and he actually brings up real-world examples of this. How, for instance, people were able to figure out where Shia LaBeouf was going to be showing up to do protests. People would already be there waiting for him by the time he showed up. How people were able to figure out two terrorist training camps. They were able, even though these were supposed to be secretive camps, just by looking at the videos, they were able to triangulate exactly where those training camps were, and were actually able to get those places bombed within a short period of time. People have been able to figure out exactly where people live, their occupations, exactly, people just are really good when they come together and to be able to figure things out. They've been able to help scientists, for instance, figure out how to properly map out certain chemical structures of proteins and viruses and so on and so forth. And there's also plenty of examples of different organizations using, people working together in order to solve problems. Right now, my mind is drawing a blank, but I'm remembering way back when a program that you were able to run on your computer in the background, as long as you kept it on, especially while you slept. Instead of having your typical screensaver, instead you would have this program that would be running a whole bunch of complex, equations and problems and stuff to help people figure out, how to take out certain diseases or viruses and cancers and things like that. I'm trying to remember the name of it for the life of me. I don't know why I'm forgetting. But I'm pretty sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And it wasn't just the fact that, your computer, of course, is, so highly complex that it's able to, go through all these different, algorithms and equations really fast. But it's the fact that you had multiple computers doing this. Different people having all their different machines working on the same thing. It was the collective power of a group of people that was the real benefit here, not just one or two computers working on this. I'm sure you guys can come up with your own examples of what happens when a group of people decide to work on something. It's amazing what can be accomplished, what can get done. Everything from, the internet these days is a really good example of that. Since we now have people who can communicate with each other in seconds, whether it's with our, my desktop here, laptop, your phone, tablets, we can all communicate with each other pretty quickly, no matter where we are on the globe. And with, everyone coming together to work on certain problems or to try to figure certain things out, we're able to come up with, solutions to things remarkably quickly. And it's all because of people with different backgrounds and different perspectives all bringing those things together in order to come up with a more whole picture, or to come at the truth, as it were. And this is how we're able to figure things out that people would think were impossible. Something as simple as just a flag shown with a sky as a background. You wouldn't think that, there's no way in hell we'd be able to figure out exactly where that is. It's just a flag and the sky as a background. There's no other landmark. We can't possibly figure out where the hell that is. And they were able to figure out exactly where that was. Really fast. I think it was within a couple of days or so. Again, that video spells it out. It was like Shia LaBeouf just putting up this one picture of a flag, and within a few days, people were able to figure out exactly where that flag was, to the point where someone was actually able to go to the building where it was and change the flag. And they were able to do it by just noticing, hey, that sky, the stars. All right, let's triangulate exactly where the stars are and where that would appear exactly on the globe. Yeah, a group of people were able to figure that out. That's the power of people coming together to work on a particular issue. One person couldn't be able to fathom that. A couple of people wouldn't be able to fathom it. But a group, able to move mountains if they could. We don't just need the internet either to prove this. Think of how America was able to get its armed forces and get the materials they needed in order to launch D-Day back, when the World War II was going on. Some people today would consider that to be kind of impossible. Think of the money it would take to make that work. Back then they weren't thinking about money. They were just thinking about everybody come together and do their part. And they were able to do their part and help to make D-Day happen. Again, the collective power of human beings was able to achieve that. So when you consider all these examples, and I'm sure you guys can come up with many, many more that I haven't even thought of or don't know about. When you consider the power of people coming together, the power that human beings are able to achieve, and like the different things that we're able to achieve by coming together, it then cracks me up when you then see a lot of different philosophies talking about the power of the one individual and how we should champion that one individual above all else just because he or she may be remarkable in some way. And that one person is supposed to be guiding the rest of us. We're supposed to all be propping this one person up. That one person may be remarkable, sure, but they just do not have the potential that a whole group of people working on an issue can. They just can't. It's freaking impossible. This is not me just speaking subjectively here. We have facts to back this up. We have our own experiences, even though experiences are not as good as straight up facts, but still our own experiences can bear this out. We depend on one another and we lean on one another in the hardest of times, and that's how we're able to pull through. Yes, it is remarkable when one individual is able to achieve a lot, but that's the point. it is remarkable when one person is able to achieve quite a bit, because that's generally not how human beings work. It's through collectivism that we're able to get somewhere. The individual needs to be cherished so they can play their part in the collective. The collective should not crush the individual, because their unique perspective may be that you may be able to provide the missing piece of the puzzle that everyone else is trying to solve. Both things nurture the other. Collectivism depends on individualism, while the individual depends on collectivism. It's not one against the other. It's both being put together to make the whole work. But I find in the West we lean a little too much on the individual aspect part. And because of that, I feel a lot of problems that we're going through right now are just going to remain unsolved until we can get over that hump. There are a lot of issues, social ones, economic ones, you name it, that I'm pretty sure we could pretty much figure out the answer to if we just all put our heads together. I mean, we put our heads together to come up and try to solve some of the dumbest problems, to be perfectly honest. I mean, yeah, we're able to achieve some good, finding an ISIS training camp and getting rid of it, and that's pretty cool. But then we also do things like coming together to troll someone. Imagine if instead we came together to solve some bigger problems. What could actually be accomplished? Again, it's through that power of collectivism. Everyone bringing their own unique perspective to help solve the puzzle, and remarkably quickly. So yeah, if you're interested, just, if you want to see an example of this in a more, fun light, check out the video. I put the link down there. He's talking about Death Note and how it wouldn't work, but he brings up the fact that several people on the internet, just a group of dedicated people on the net, would be able to completely dismantle that plot in days. And he brings up real world examples of this, and those real world examples, pretty amazing. So if you're interested, check it out. But I hope it proves my point. Anyway, enough of that. I need to get some rest. I know it's the morning, but I work nights. Once again, I hope this gave you guys some food for thought. And as always, I'll catch you guys later.